Why do they need money? Minimum wage, right?
Right, yeah. All
Minimum
workers.
wage. That's who they want working. They don't want corporation like you go in and you have a good meal and you leave 15% or 10% of the tip. And they share all that too. You don't get a big salary, but you share all them tips. You want to cut that out in people. One thing they're mad about this period is that people, instead of getting mean, just think, you're not hearing about mean robberies.
No.
You haven't heard of not one mass shooting. I don't want to call one on. Not one mass shooting. When you're watching the local news, usually the local news is so-and-so snapped a person, ran down the street. That's all it is. And then they have one school where they raised a pretty balloon. One. You don't hear about that right now. Why? Look what happened. This thing is bringing the good out of people. That we're all in it together. We have to share. They are bringing back the community spirit. They ain't bringing it back, they done brought it back. They done brought it back. And very little, the only hate speech you hear a lot about is the fool on TV. He's trying to get better, but he ain't gonna get no better. He done already blew it. Right? Therefore, our assignment is clear that our system will be developed to help bring the good out of people. Because that means their basic nature is good. Because when this stuff happened, there's restaurateurs cooking for people. There's people, all of a sudden they wake up and they say, hey, the people we haven't been paying no attention to are the real heroes. You have to be a hero to go in there with no mask. Well, they're getting more masks now and they're getting a little more, but still, right? Shoot. For a while, you'd have to be tough. You know, just think how tough you had to be, minded, to go in there and the people in there got a disease that might up and kill you. And you ain't got no real protection, and you know you don't have no protection. And then the highest number of deaths for a while was those people. You have to be pretty serious. So they really are heroic. Don't forget about what the news is. They want to make a fool out of everybody and forget about them next week, you know. Yeah, you go in there and get yourself killed. I go to war. Boy, our heroes going to war. Then you get back here, boy, it ain't no fun. You now, what they call wounded warrior, signs of the economy, stock market. The intent could be get the rich super richer. That's how we interpret the event. Now, we want to focus on the wealthy on down. Not Bill Gates and them, because they probably, Amazon and all them people, them kind of, they ain't got the Holy Ghost, we're going to help nobody. They just cranking up, making more money, you know what I mean? Better, whoever them people are. Okay. No, the wealthy people. But you got to remember, the wealthy people are not stupid. They're our allies too. When I say the wealthy, that means people are, let's call them the upper middle class. And even a little higher, we can't forget that they're human beings. We have to enlist them. Just think about Hollywood and all those people out there. Hollywood, they got a lot of people people are socially conscious. Every demonstration we had, somebody from Hollywood was there. Susan Sarandon was sitting right down on the steps, just in regular clothes, just like it. She wasn't extra fine or extra ugly. She was just a human being. You know, think about all the rest. I mean, they got white folks out, and Negroes too, that really, I think Leonardo DiCaprio, they got a whole crew.
Jane Fonda.
Poor Jane, she survived. That girl got longevity. I don't care what nobody said. That girl been around. Hey, Hanoi Jane, what they call her? Hanoi Jane? They call her something like that. Yeah.
She lives here now.
Huh?
She lives here in D.C.
Bless her heart. That girl got to be 75. She older than I am. I believe she's up in the 80s. Jane Fonda. How old is Jane Fonda? Not that it's important. Forget it.
No, we're okay.
I believe she's 80 something. But anyway. But all of them, they would be happy. Remember, how much influence do the movies have?
Lots.
The movies, man. I'm telling you, I knew the movies were serious, but when I saw Superfly and I saw the people change their clothes from fatigues and jump boots and Tams to Lord Jesus's and maxi coats, I said, boy, that's cold-blooded. I mean, and it was just like snapping your fingers. Okay, but now remember, the utopian world, if they put it in people's mind, the people have a visual, something to think about. We have to incorporate them. So Hollywood, the wealthy, Hollywood. Now, how we interpret these events have a lot to do with the reality, how we see them. Just remember, when you came to visit me at the hospital, right? All I said, barely could say, was optimism. Optimism. Couldn't say nothing else. Couldn't remember nothing either. Lucky I got that out, but that was optimism. And that's how things came out. But that's how we look at everything, with optimism. It don't make no difference what they plan. See, you got to remember, there's visible and invisible things working for us. You got to remember, the earth itself not only lies on our side, so that means it's a done deal, but the earth is on our side. The earth wants us to be victorious, so it won't have to go all the way. I want you to think of the earth, like I said, as a living organism. Suppose the people keep effing up the earth. You're not going to blow it up. What's it going to do? It's going to shake these niggas off of it. It's going to build us, like a body got cancer, right? To build something around it. Yeah, it's going to isolate it, it's going to cut it off, it's going to drown it or burn it up. It's already, the science is already here. That's why I say this is our first chance or our last chance. This is our first chance to make the world with unlimited possibilities. When a human being can live like something, I mean, it's just got to the last few years that everybody wasn't serfs or slaves. Can you imagine how them people live? All that matted hair. In Europe, they didn't bathe. They had lice on them. You know, just how comfortable it looked. If you was alive 200-300 years ago, you didn't really have a life. You just, I mean, just physically you didn't live long. But put all the little bugs and all the things eating at your skin and tapeworms and all that stuff, right? Yeah. All that stuff. Hey, man. And now we got smooth our face out. We all live like kings used to live. Smooth, smooth our face out. Shape, right? That's frivolous. We can still do that, but it's frivolous. You can't put a big thing on it that my hair look better than hers, and that's who's going to be, the queen for a day, all that. Okay, so how to interpret events? As we said, we choose utopianism. That's what we choose. Dystopianism is possible, but we just writing it off. We're just not going. They say, we ain't going there. But we have to give it all to what we got. We have to, now it ain't new now, it's not. Just remember what we've been going over in our preparation. 2020 vision. What happened in January 3rd, didn't even wait till still almost New Year's. The first thing is Suleimani got assassinated. We said, hold it, I ain't going back to California because there's something going on. What did they do? They revived Iran. Do you hear Iranians moaning and groaning about what they not? Why? They prepared for everything. And they're doing better than boss man. You don't hear them crying because they put that stress in everything that's been put on them. They adopted the norm. They're more progressive than anybody in the region. They're using their country and all, and it's a good thing, it's a big country. And in metallurgy, Iran is one of the top countries in the world to how much metal is in the soil. In Bandar Abbas on one of the islands, the brothers cracked the rock and showed, said, look at this, you can see the metal. It just needs to be refined. Iran has sufficient water. Its military is able to defend itself. And you know what? Everybody know that too. And us in Iran, look, Allah's in charge of all of this. The last time I was in Iran, I visited President Ahmadinejad. I believe he has a big part to play because Zarif is a pragmatist and a realist. A realist. There's the U.S., they're this big, they have so many people, here's us, we have, just real. He adds it up that way. He's a realist. Ahmadinejad is an idealist. You could tell how the way he acted here. You could tell the way he spread money with the poor. There's one thing, I told you one thing that he said that no politician I had never heard one say, before. But there's one more thing. Somewhere during our conversation, he said, okay, what can I do for you? In other words, how much money do you need? How much money do you want? Because a lot of those things are set up kind of like that. The people go and they get money and their support. Excuse me, extract that from the record. But I said, no, I'm all right. I got it covered. Now, to other people, I didn't say that. But to him, to make sure there's always a clean relationship. It's not a money relationship. But he asked me directly, and other people said, as if, okay, before you go, what can I do for you? I said, I'm sorry. No, our relationship different, clear. Because when we was at the UN up there, they said 2 or 3 times, they said the most active person in here is the African-American brother down at the end of the table sitting next to Bahraini, guy out there. So he looked up and said, okay, I got it. This thing is being worked out. This thing, you could say it has been worked out. So we have to give it what we got. We have to give it everything we got. Okay. A couple of more things. We talked about think big, about being grateful at this time, and remember Wallace, about making use of your time or spending your capital right, just melting away. Your choice or them. This is kind of like a statement. Our vision of the future or their reality. Like right now, technically everything that happened before, we have to deal with it, but it's not important. Everything that happened before this is technically not important. Everything that happened was a trial and a test and a human development. So now, everybody knows who's who and what's what. Okay, now, so when we say to people, it's our vision of the future or boss man, take which one you want. I'm not going to chase nobody around and try to convince them of nothing. You already see where we're coming from? Hey, I'm not going to call people names like dummies and stupid or anything like that. But if anybody right now still with boss man, they need some assistance. They need some assistance. Psychological assistance. To come to conclusions, to analyze. The other thing is what we were saying about the system itself. I mentioned David Speed, I think it was, down there, FBI, and the other FBI was the one, George Armstrong, that came and said it with the Korean. If anybody can find those people or talk to them or whatever, I would be happy to talk to them. Because this thing is bigger than their little house and their retirement. And if we talk to enough of them, somebody's going to hear the message. Yeah. They're not stupid. Well, they're not smart because they're FBI. But when you got the whole system working with you, you don't have to be smart. System dictates who it hires, who it fires. The first chance or the last chance. The question is still out. The first chance or the last chance on us. What are we going to do? We're going to listen to boss man? Or we're going to listen to the human family? Okay. So the FBI should have a crisis team too. A team of handshakers and, excuse the saying, bullshitters. And, they should have a team like that. They think like this, they think like that. You go over there and just shake hands with them and feed them a bunch of jive. Well, we like to talk to them too. The FBI got a team for everything else. Why they don't have a team for this? They got to have somebody that's designated, right, to come over here, and somebody, they've already watched half of the stuff. If they haven't, they would be remiss. They could not have watched it because of the way they act. They act like they watch it. They act like they understand it. Now it's time for them to come forward. Yeah. Not hide and stuff like that. But have two teams. One is a team that stay hooked up with boss man, another team, the other part is the one that blow the whistle and make noise. You know. And when another team get fired, this team still help them with money and stuff. This is the things that we have to get started in there. This is now, this is not like way off in the future. This is today. Fix the problem, not the blame. This old saying. All right. It is a good saying. Fix the problem, fix the world. Forget about who messed it up. There's no time to, you messed up this. You know way down always blaming everybody? You don't fix the problem, you fix the blame. Now he do, he fix it. He take all the credit for anything good happened, he take all that credit, and anything that went bad, they did it. We got a lot of stuff going for us. In the joint, when we was little kids, some counselor that was messing up, acting funny, we throw him for no control. Because there would be only one or two people running the whole little 60 boys or something. No control, is you throw him for no control. We don't do nothing you say. Except we'll line up to go over and eat and come back. But after that, we ain't doing nothing. Sit down and be quiet. We start hollering. Get in line. We start walking. It's called, it was a tactic. Hey man, could we say, hey man, let's throw this boy for no control. That means we're not cooperating. India did it with, Mahatma Gandhi did it with the British Empire. Threw them for no control. We're not cooperating. Hollywood, some of the wealthy, if the people that know the truth